Radio Salsa with DJ Angus Flaco and Michelle SalsaButterfly on invincibleradio.co.uk. Radio Salsa on invincibleradio.com.
You're locked into Radio Salsa with DJ Angus Flaco and Michelle SalsaButterfly, joined by our special guests Ansell Chezan and his brother Tony. Now, Tony, you have been teaching for a long time. Are you still out teaching at the moment, or are you taking a break, or what's the deal at the moment? Sorry, Michelle's just hogging the mic.
Hello, I'm back. Yes, I teach on a Friday evening.
Okay, is that in London or
in Essex? Okay,
and is that somewhere you've been for a long time, or
about 15, 16 months now? Okay, it's a mix. We do ballroom, Latin, salsa, bit of line dancing.
Is that all in the same night? Is it?
Oh yes.
Okay, so what kind of is it? What kind of age? Because the thing about salsa is very appealing to both the younger generation as well as the older generation. It's a very mature crowd in terms of the mentality. Is that the case in where you are?
Yes. Don't want to be too unkind to most of the pupils, but I would say the bulk of them are sort of 40 plus.
Where is it you're teaching? You can mention a name.
And may I ask why that's unkind to say that they're 40 plus? There's absolutely nothing wrong with being 40 plus.
Well, when I get there, I'll let you know.
Good one. That's a good one. All right then.
Yes, I teach in Cranham.
Cranham.
Near Upminster.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's. I don't know. It's London Underground. If you still can get the Underground somewhere, then you're still in London, really. Sorry, I'm standing back here so I can make sure Tony's in the camera.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Been ducking out the whole evening. So this is a mixture of different. Is it like a freestyle club afterwards that you do as well?
No, it's purely
just the
class.
lessons.
Yes.
Okay. And what's your take on the whole salsa scene now? I mean, like programs like Strictly Come Dancing and stuff like that has really pushed it into the public eye. And
yes, it did to start with 7-8 years ago when it first started.
Yeah.
And that was very popular. Many people went to the dance schools very quickly. But after the second and third series, it started to drop off a bit.
Right.
Because the people realised that you can't walk into a studio and dance as it appears to happen on television.
Unless you've had a lot of alcohol. Because that's what seems to happen in the West End clubs. It's just a Friday, Saturday night, everybody walks in.
Oh, well,
I don't quite know why I snorted on there, but
that's another problem, I think. When we dance salsa, you ask Euros, I call us Euros, to move their hips.
Right.
They won't. Have a few drinks and hey,
it
goes, doesn't it?
Well,
even
when my friends take the mickey, you do salsa, and they do this whole thing, and I'm like, what is that you're doing there? Because that's not salsa.
That's right.
You know. So
it's mentality, I think.
Because the Strictly Come Dancing is all brought to the forefront, and of course, as I say, it's died down a little bit. But that's when everybody else seemed to jump on the bandwagon, and that's when it became saturated. It was a very kind of saturated scene. It's now kind of bringing back down to the sort of level it was at before, I suppose.
Yes, it's probably a little bit more than before, but yeah, you're basically right. I mean, one of the problems with Strictly Come Dancing, of course, that they're ballroom and Latin people. Most of them, I've got to be careful what I say now, most of them are ballroom and Latin dancers. Right. So when it came to salsa, they weren't really doing salsa. And it was awful.
Some of the tracks they picked.
The music is horrendous.
I mean, I remember hearing hot. And I thought, I will never play that in the salsa club.
Right, no.
But then, of course, it's got to be commercial, because it's got to be the tracks that the general public are going to recognise.
But there are so many, because even when I first started doing salsa, there were so many tunes. You're not really aware that because of like advertising and films and stuff, there's a lot of Latin tunes used out there. So there are tunes there. You recognise them when you first started in salsa. There's no reason to be playing hot for a salsa track. None.
Sorry, there is. And the BBC love to sell music and CDs and things, and all those things are recorded, and they sell the CDs. It's music they're selling, more product.
But they could sell the Latin music.
But people won't recognise it, won't understand it. That they know, they feel comfortable with.
It's the familiarity.
People that buy that music.
It's very sad.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
The other thing I had a conversation with these performers, not so much the professional dancers, but sort of like the celebrities.
Yes.
how true is it, the argument being that I need to dance with just that one person? How easy would it be for them to go to somewhere like a normal salsa club and go and dance freestyle with a complete stranger?
Not easy at all.
Because they're just used to that one lead. They know what's coming.
They don't know about leading. They don't understand that. They're just pulled and pushed around.
Cool. Because that's always what I thought in the back of my head. Somebody mentioned it to me a couple of years ago, and I thought, I wonder how much truth there is in that. So they would struggle then.
They would definitely struggle, no question. Yeah. Because then, being fair and kind to I'm trying to be fair to everybody. They're given a set amount of time. They start about 6 weeks before it goes on television anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work every day of the week, 10 hours a day, whatever. But they're shown routines and like really shown how to dance.
Right.
And that's one of the problems. And a lot of dances, they've got to memorise it all. It's very difficult for a non-dancer.
And of course, in that 6 weeks, do they learn every style that they do? They do basic steps, or is just
there's some of them.
So they really are under pressure some weeks when they do one week in. Oh my God!
Sometimes you've got 2 dances to learn in a week.
God.
Or show dance as well. Very difficult. Yeah.
I suppose the money must be worth it. We're going to go a bit of merengue now. This is I've forgotten the name of the group. It's No Me Digas Que No. I'm sure that's the one I picked.
Ay, no me digas que no.
It's time for the 1 to 100 competition. Correctly guess the number between 1 and 100 that's contained in the envelope, and you win. To enter, call 07946 183377 now.
You're locked into Radio Salsa. It's round 2 of the 1 to 100 competition, and the prizes up for grabs include the Sonora Carousela's Heavy Salsa CD, the Los Mejores de la Salsa 2009 CD, a £10 iTunes gift voucher, Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez's film El Cantante, and this week's additional prize, which has been kindly donated by Ansell, is Find the Rhythm, which is a book all about salsa rhythms, which has been written by Alex Wilson, who will be featuring one of his tracks later on. And whether you're a beginner or an advanced dancer, that book will certainly point out a few hints and tips for your dancing. Right, so let's see who calls in. Our first call is coming in right now.
I was quick this time.
Let's find out who's on the air. Good evening, you're live on Invincible Radio. Please turn down your radio so you don't get too much feedback. Who's that?
I can hear my mother's laughter already.
How are you? Who's that?
It's Veronica.
Oh, good evening, Veronica. Where are you calling from, Veronica? Archway. Good evening, Veronica.
Good evening, Mother.
Good evening, Michelle and your guest.
Hello, Mom.
You just put a mic down.
Hi there, Michelle.
Hi, Veronica.
She's listening. Oh, she's turned the computer down this time. Okay, Veronica, we've got 2 guesses on the competition tonight. What's your first guess in the envelope? What's the number?
11.
Number 11. Let's find out. It's not. What's your second guess, Veronica?
88.
The way she laughs. 88. Is it 88? It's not 88.
Never mind, Mum.
What a shame. Thank you for your call, though, Veronica.
Enjoy.
And you can try calling back straight away, because if nobody else is trying, then you might as well have another guess.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, try again. Okay, we'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so next caller, 07946 183377. Every caller who calls in tonight gets 2 guesses. Our next caller is coming through right now. Good evening, you're live on Invincible Radio. Who's that?
This is Donna McCoy.
Good evening.
Why did that make people laugh?
Why does that make people laugh? I don't know. What's your third guess tonight, Donna?
Well, Michelle's lucky number is 666, so I'm just going to say 66.
66. That's different to the numbers she mentioned last time.
Yeah, that was naughty.
66. Is it 66? It's not. Okay, what's your second guess, Donna?
Alright, Michelle's shoe size. What is it again? Oh no, my mum said that one. She said 11. 15.
What did you say? Which
She's
number?
so rude.
15.
15.
Yep.
Okay, 15. Is it 15? Oh, it's not. Unfortunately, thank you very much for your call, though, Donna.
You're welcome.
And Michelle, thanks you for the insults. Good night.
Bye.
I believe we wear the same size. She's so cheeky.
Oh, I'm going to take one more call. 3 guesses for the caller who calls in right now. I haven't got that. Have I got it set up? I think I do on here. No, it's this one. Okay. Good evening. You're live on Invincible Radio. Who's that and where are you calling from?
It's Paul.
Oh, good evening, Paul. Hey.
Told you, family show. It's Paul.
Okay, Paul, where are you calling from?
East London.
East London. Okay, and of course your uncle?
Ansell, yeah.
Yep, Uncle Ansell.
And Daddy
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
Daddy,
I didn't know what you
Daddy
said
Tony.
there. You said Uncle Ansell. I was like Nigel Mansell from. I was like, who's Uncle Ansell? And okay, so you've got 3 guesses at the number in the envelope. What's your first guess?
99.
99. Is it 99? It's not. What's your second guess, Paul?
26.
26. Is it 26? It's not. What's your third guess, Paul?
Third and final guess, Paul. Come on.
Number 4.
Number 4. Is it number 4?
Oh.
Now, let me, before you go, Paul, what's this whole business of cha-cha-cha on one that we're...
Yeah, there's talk in a rival camp about a cha-cha on one as opposed to dancing on 2 like the Latin Americans. Some people call it club cha-cha or club dance cha-cha. It's just where you dance on the one. It's got a totally different feel to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it has.
Purists obviously disregard that, such as my great esteemed Uncle Ansell.
Great esteemed...
Thank you.
There are us young folk like myself and Tony, and you know, we prefer to dance on one, keep it real, as they say.
Okay, now quick question. How young are you, Paul?
I'm 34.
Oh, yeah, that is... He's not...
So, he's young.
He is young.
Yeah, because I'm young. So, if he's 34, he's definitely young.
Oh.
Yeah, Tony was 12 when I was born.
I love that. Just drop that in there.
Checks in the post.
Yeah, with a date of about 2099.
99, yes, indeed.
Well, thank you very much for your call, Paul. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far.
It's been fantastic.
And we're going to hopefully get you on the show one day.
Oh, bless you. I'll do
So,
my best.
revenge will be sweet.
Yes, watch out, son. We're watching you. He knows.
Yeah, he is. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one, Michelle. No, he's watching you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks, Michelle.
All right, thanks for your call, Paul.
Thanks a lot, Angus.
All right, cheers.
ya.
Bye-bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Okay, right. Now, what I was going to ask you, Ansell, and in fact, yourself as well, Tony. Now, when you go into a club where people might not necessarily know you, if you get a lady comes up to dance, do you ever pretend to be a beginner? No, you just go straight into it.
I always, because I don't know the lady,
Mm-hmm.
just start basics.
I know,
Slowly build up.
because sometimes
Or not.
in the past... So Michelle needs to speak.
Because that's another of my pet hates. I mean, I took a friend of mine to a club a couple of Sundays ago, and we were watching a gentleman dancing, and she was admiring the way that they were dancing, and I said, you know what, he's a bit rough, and she's off balance a lot. The girl's off balance a lot. Yeah, she's doing her styling. And later on, she danced with the guy, and she said, you know what, he was just so rough. The music was fast, and he was throwing her hair there and everywhere. And it's one of my pet hates, because I always say, you're dancing with somebody new, you test them out.
That's right.
You do one spin, you do maybe a double, see what the lady can do.
Absolutely.
Especially if the lady comes to ask you to dance as the guy. Because a guy would normally ask a lady to dance whom he may have seen
Probably
and
knows.
think, you know, she's all right. But if a lady asks you, then you test them out. I mean, I lead as well, and I will do that. You can't just throw them in the... Oh, I get so angry.
We'd never have guessed.
Well, I mean, I can tell you a little story. We were down, Paul and I were down in the club, and I was examining a particular teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Paul was in the class, and during the evening, after the class itself, a lady went up to Paul to ask him to dance.
Mm-hmm.
So he said to dance with my uncle. So she looked me up and down. She said, "You weren't in the advanced class." I said, "No." She said, "Were you in intermediates?" I said, "No." I said, "Well, do you want to dance or don't you?" She said, "Well, all right then." Did me a whole favour. So I got on the floor, I kept it as basic as I could, but I did lots of body work. She came off the floor, she said, Oh, that was wonderful. Really enjoyed that. You don't need to spin and spin.
Well,
and
it's. Do you know that's a perfect example of being the better person, as it were? Because it happened to me when I first started dancing. I went to a club on a Tuesday night. I think it was at Bar Latina, and it was there was one night they did I can't remember who was teaching up there, but we did the lesson, and after the lesson it was back to freestyle. And I went and asked the lady to dance. She's like, "Oh no, I'm tired. I'm alright, thank you." So I went and asked somebody else to dance. And of course, go out, give them a nice dance. As soon as I finished, the lady was like, "I'll have that dance now, thank you." And you could be, "Oh no, I'm too tired," but I thought, no, because the thing is, the biggest thing I find for myself when I go into any salsa club, even a Latino, like with Colombian nightclubs where I go sometimes with my friends, people look at me and think my posture, I don't look like a salsa dancer, and so therefore they just automatically. They just stereotype, and we're all guilty of doing that at some point, But it's all about in salsa. That's where it's. I've always thought it's a very mature attitude in salsa. People. It's all about being the better person in terms of
the way. It's changed a lot. I mean, the old days, it was fun. You go out and have fun, but these days it's changed.
It's very cliquey.
It's very cliquey. Again, another problem I've found. Go up to ask a lady to dance. She say to you, "Do you dance on two?" And if you say no,
or cha-cha on one,
she turn around and leave you standing there. I think that's wrong. She should just say yes or say thank you or no, and join whatever I'm leading. Full stop. She dance on two.
Because I remember one Colombian club I went. There was a merengue came on. There was a table of about maybe 8 women, and I asked 5 of them before one of them said yes. So I took her out to dance on the floor, and she had the most miserable face on her. But as the dance went on and started pulling out a couple of moves. Then her face lit up. By the end of the dance, she was smiling. She went back to her table. About maybe 5-6 tracks later, another merengue came on. I went straight back to her. I did just ignore 1, 2, 3, 4, back to number 5. And it's a shame people are like that. There's still a lot of it within salsa. Because at the end of the day, people have to remember everybody started off at the same point.
That's right. Absolutely.
And that's a mistake. A lot of even some teachers make it sometimes. A lot of teachers are very. I know various people that go out and teach a lesson and don't dance with their students. And that's all part and parcel, because as a teacher dances with students, one of the biggest feelings a student can go away with, I danced with my teacher tonight.
Yeah, even in the lesson, if the teacher only dances with the lady that he's demonstrating with, or she, people do feel left out, or like they've missed something, or why are they like they feel they're better than them. They need to dance with the class, especially when the track comes on.
Definitely.
You're bringing the ladies in, especially seeing as that there's usually more ladies than there are men.
That's true.
If the teacher's a guy, even if it's a lady, bring the ladies in. Send your demonstrator out and bring the ladies in.
Right. Well, right now, what we're going to do, we're going to find out some of Ansell's favourite tracks. So we're going to go with the first one, and Ansell's going to tell us afterwards why he likes these tracks. This first one is Yuri Buenaventura. Actually, did I put the CD in? I don't think I've even put the CD in. Did I put the CD in?
I shan't sing.
No, I didn't. I put it down there. No, I didn't. What have I done with the CD?
Should we sing while you're trying to find it?
Yes, I'd like. Do you know what? I was going to say yes for that because Michelle's the one who came up with it. That's not even one of those CDs, right? What we're going to do? We're going to go with it. I don't know what I did with it. I had it just a second ago. Oh, it's there. I put it somewhere safe. So safe I couldn't find it. Right. This first one is by Yuri Buenaventura. It is called Salsa.
Radio Salsa with DJ Angus Flaco and Michelle SalsaButterfly on invincibleradio.co.uk.